Can you believe that in Japan, there are men well into their 80s who still enjoy a vibrant, active sex life, just as strong as when they were 30? No pills, no surgeries, no modern gimmicks. Their secret lies in 6 simple movements, practiced daily, passed down from generation to generation. And if you're over 60, this may be exactly what you need to reclaim the masculine power you thought was gone. Hello, I'm Dr. Helen Carter, men's health and performance coach. I've helped countless men restore testosterone, improve circulation, and, most importantly, rebuild confidence in the bedroom. Today, I'm going to share with you the 6 movements that Japanese elders perform every single day to stay vital, energetic, and to keep their erections strong, even well past the age of 60. But before we dive in, I want you to do one simple thing. Hit the like button and subscribe to this channel, because in my next video, I'll reveal a Japanese breathing technique that takes just 60 seconds, yet can skyrocket testosterone almost instantly, and you don't want to miss it. So let's get straight into it. These 6 movements may look simple, but when you practice them, your body will respond in ways even your doctor might find surprising. This is more than exercise. It's a blueprint to restore your masculinity, boost your energy, and unlock the vitality that age has tried to steal from you. In Japan, longevity isn't just about living longer, it's about living stronger. Walk through any Okinawan village or a quiet Tokyo park at sunrise, and you'll see elders moving with purpose. They squat, they breathe deeply, they stretch their hips, and they walk with rhythm. To an outsider, it may look like a morning ritual, but for them, it's survival, it's vitality, it's masculinity preserved. Science now confirms what tradition has known all along. These movements increase blood flow to the pelvic region, strengthen the muscles that support erections, and naturally stimulate testosterone. What's remarkable is not just that Japanese elders do them, it's that they never stop doing them. It's a lifetime commitment, and the results are visible in their energy, posture, and even their intimate lives. Think about it. Why is it that so many men in their 60s in other parts of the world feel drained, stiff, and embarrassed in the bedroom, while elders in Japan continue to thrive? The answer isn't genetics. It isn't luck. It's habit. 6 simple habits repeated every single day. And here's the twist. You don't need to move to Japan, and you don't need to change your entire lifestyle. All you need is 10 to 15 minutes a day, just a small window of time to practice what has kept Japanese elders strong for centuries. So, what exactly are these 6 movements, and why do they work so powerfully on a man's body, especially after 60? Let's begin with the foundation, the movement that creates stability, strength, and circulation all at once. It's called the horse stance breathing, and it may become the most important 2 minutes of your day. Imagine planting yourself into the ground like a tree, solid and unshakable. That is the essence of the horse stance. In Japan, elders often begin their morning with this simple but powerful posture, and it's more than just a way to stretch the legs. It's a way to awaken the entire pelvic floor. Here's how it looks. You step your feet wider than shoulder width apart, toes pointing slightly outward. Slowly bend your knees as if you were about to sit into a chair, keeping your chest lifted and your spine tall. Your hands rest gently on your thighs. In this position, you take a slow, deep breath in through your nose. As you exhale through your mouth, you gently tighten and release the muscles in your pelvic floor, the same muscles you would use to stop the flow of urine. This is not about force, it's about rhythm. Inhale, relax. Exhale, flick the muscles. Why does this matter? Because the pelvic floor is the hidden engine of male performance. When it is weak, blood flow stagnates, erections lose their firmness, and energy drains away. But when it is trained with precision, circulation improves, testosterone gets a natural boost, and your ability to sustain erections becomes stronger. Science has shown that even just 2 minutes a day in horse stance breathing can improve pelvic blood flow, lower stress hormones, and activate the very pathways that control sexual stamina. I once coached a man in his late 60s who had almost given up. He tried medications that left him with headaches, supplements that did nothing, and long gym sessions that only made him more tired. Within 3 weeks of daily horse stance breathing, he reported less dribbling, deeper sleep, and firmer morning erections. The change was not instant, but it was undeniable. This is your foundation. With just 2 minutes a day, you are telling your body, I am still strong, I am still alive, and I refuse to fade quietly. And once you master this stance, you're ready to build strength on top of it with the next Japanese movement. Once your body has found its foundation in the horse stance, it's time to awaken strength in your legs and pelvis. This is where the Okinawan Squat pulse comes in, a movement inspired by the daily training of elders in Okinawa, the island known as the Land of Longevity. You begin by stepping your feet wide, almost twice shoulder width apart, with your toes slightly turned outward. From here, you lower into a deep squat, keeping your back straight and your chest lifted. Instead of holding still, you pulse gently, just a few centimeters up and down, as you breathe slowly and deeply. Each pulse sends fresh blood circulating through your hips, thighs, and most importantly, your pelvic region. It might feel challenging at first. Your thighs will burn, your hips may feel tight, and your balance will be tested. But that's exactly why this movement is so powerful. Those small pulses pump blood into areas that men over 60 often neglect. They stimulate the muscles that support erections, and they strengthen the vascular system that delivers oxygen-rich blood to your most vital tissues. One of my clients once described it perfectly. It feels like I'm charging the batteries in my body. And he was right. Within a few weeks, he noticed not only stronger legs, but also more endurance in intimacy, less stiffness in the mornings, and a surprising sense of vitality throughout the day. So as you squat and pulse, remember this. You're not just exercising your legs. You're training your body to send blood, hormones, and energy exactly where you need it most. And once you've mastered the Okinawan Squat pulse, you're ready to add flow and flexibility with the third movement, the pelvic wave stretch. Now that your legs and hips are awake from the squat pulses, it's time to bring in movement that restores fluidity to your pelvis. The pelvic wave stretch is exactly what it sounds like. Gentle waves that release tension and open circulation where it matters most. You start by standing tall with your feet hip-width apart. Place your hands on your hips, soften your knees, and begin moving your pelvis in a slow, circular motion, as if you're drawing a wide circle with your hips. Inhale as you move forward, exhale as you sweep back. After a few rotations, reverse the direction. What begins as a simple circle quickly feels like a massage from the inside out, loosening stiff joints, stretching tight muscles, and encouraging blood to flow freely through the pelvic region. For men over 60, stiffness in the hips and lower back is one of the hidden enemies of sexual performance. When your pelvis is locked up, blood flow is restricted, pressure builds, and the muscles that support erections become weak. This stretch acts like a release valve, wringing out stagnation and flooding the tissues with oxygen-rich blood. I often tell my clients, flexibility is just as important as strength. One gentleman in his 70s practiced the pelvic wave daily for a month, and he noticed not only less back pain, but also a remarkable ease in intimacy. "It's like my body is moving with me again," he said. And that's exactly the goal, restoring natural rhythm. When you combine fluidity with the power you've built in the first two movements, you set the stage for even deeper strength. Which brings us to the next practice, an exercise that unlocks the hips while sharpening your control, the seated hip rotation. Strength and flexibility mean little if your hips remain locked. That's why Japanese elders spend time opening their hips daily, and one of the simplest ways is through the seated hip rotation. This movement doesn't just make sitting and walking easier, It directly improves circulation and pelvic alignment, two key factors for stronger erections. Sit tall on the edge of a chair or a firm cushion. Place your feet flat on the floor, knees bent at 90 degrees. Lift your right ankle and rest it gently on your left knee, creating a figure 4 shape. From here, take a slow breath in, and as you exhale, lean forward slightly until you feel a gentle stretch deep in your hip. Hold it for a few seconds, then rotate the hips slowly in small circles, as if your thigh bone were stirring inside the joint. Repeat on the other side. At first, the movement may feel subtle, but don't underestimate it. Men over 60 often carry decades of tightness in their hips, caused by sitting too long, moving too little, or avoiding stretches altogether. That tightness doesn't just affect your posture. It compresses nerves, restricts blood vessels, and limits the flow of energy to your lower body. By rotating the hips, you unlock that congestion, releasing pressure and creating space for blood to circulate freely. I once guided a man who had avoided intimacy for years because of hip and back stiffness. After just 2 weeks of practicing seated hip rotations, he reported less pain, easier movement, and a noticeable return of firmness during erections. His words were simple but powerful. I feel open again. When your hips are free, your core can finally do its job. And that's exactly what the next movement is about. Harnessing your inner strength through the core power hold. Every structure needs a center of gravity, a source of strength that holds everything together. For your body, that source is the core, especially the deep abdominal muscles just below your navel. Japanese elders understand that without a strong core, balance, stamina, and sexual vitality all begin to fade. That's why they practice what I call the core power hold. Here's how it works. Lie on your back with your knees bent and feet flat on the ground. Place one hand on your lower abdomen. Take a deep breath in through your nose, letting your belly rise. As you exhale slowly through your mouth, tighten your abdominal muscles as if you're bracing against a gentle push. Hold that contraction for 3 to 5 seconds, then relax. Repeat the cycle for 1 to 2 minutes. This simple hold does far more than tone your stomach. It strengthens the muscles that stabilize your pelvis, supports the lower back, and creates the internal pressure needed for firm, lasting erections. Think of it as charging the battery that powers the rest of your body. When the core is weak, energy leaks out. When the core is strong, energy flows where it is needed most. One of my clients in his early 70s once told me, "I never thought a belly exercise could help in the bedroom, but I can feel the difference." He noticed better control during intimacy, stronger morning erections, and even improved posture while walking. The beauty of the core power hold is that it requires no equipment, no complicated routine, just focus and breath. And once you've built this inner strength, the final Japanese movement ties everything together, restoring rhythm and endurance. The long walk with pelvic rhythm. If there is one habit that nearly every Japanese elder shares, it is walking. Not just any walk, but long, deliberate walks with a rhythm that engages the pelvis. In Okinawa, you'll see men in their 70s and 80s strolling daily, often for miles, with a posture that is upright, relaxed, and strong. This is more than exercise, it is medicine in motion. To practice it, stand tall with your shoulders back and your chest open. Begin walking at a steady pace, but pay attention to your hips. Let them move gently with each step, swaying naturally, almost like a pendulum. As your right leg steps forward, feel your left hip rotate slightly forward, then switch on the opposite side. It is a subtle pelvic rhythm that turns ordinary walking into a circulation booster. Why does this matter for men over 60? Because blood flow is everything. Erections are, in the simplest sense, a matter of blood being delivered and held in the right place. Long, rhythmic walking improves cardiovascular health, pumps oxygen-rich blood through the lower body, and keeps the pelvic floor active without strain. Over time, this daily habit can reduce stiffness, lower blood pressure, and strengthen endurance both in daily life and in intimacy. I remember one client who began with just 10 minutes of walking each morning. Within a month, he had worked up to 40 minutes, and he told me, "It feels like my body is awake again." His energy, mood, and erections all improved simply by adding rhythm to his steps. This is the finishing touch. When combined with the other 5 movements, the Japanese long walk becomes the glue that holds everything together: strength, flexibility, control, and circulation. And now, it's time to see how all 6 form a complete system to restore your masculinity after 60. So now you've seen the 6 movements Japanese elders rely on every day. Alone, each is simple: the horse stance, Okinawan squat, pelvic wave, seated hip rotation, core power hold, and long walk. But together, they form a system that keeps a man strong, vital, and capable long after 60. This isn't about pills or quick fixes. It's about teaching your body to circulate blood, produce testosterone, and support firm erections naturally. Just 10 to 15 minutes a day is all it takes. I've watched men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s transform with these practices, sleeping better, standing taller, and feeling alive again. Which movement will you start today? Drop it in the comments. I read everyone. And before you go, hit like, subscribe, and share this video. Your masculinity doesn't fade with age. It waits to be awakened.